that, I'll admit our admin to the board, to the meeting. Okay, we're good to go live. We can start the meeting. Admit our admin. Yes. To the board, to the meeting. Yes. Okay, we're good to go live. We can start the meeting. Admit our admin. Yes.
So somebody's listening to it on YouTube and
Yeah,
on the meeting. Okay, so that's taken. Okay. And there we go.
So is everybody in?
Yes, we can start.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order and we'll have a flag salute. Trish, can you lead us in the flag salute?
Yes, I will. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and for the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice and liberty for all.
Thank you. Trish, can I ask you to do the roll call?
Yes, I can. Trustee Waddy Salyer. Not present. Trustee O'Gorman Willowcreek.
Here.
Trustee Risling Hoopa.
Here.
Trustee George Hoopa.
Present.
Trustee Wild Fishpeck. Not present. Trustee McGee Pequan. Not present. Trustee McLaughlin Orleans.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
This is Tom. I move we adopt the agenda.
Is there a
This is
second?
Laura Lee. I second. Laura Lee will second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the agenda. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I was wondering, I did not get the last two items in my packet. 7F and 7G. So I don't know about other people.
Were those items, Trish, put into the agenda?
Mhm.
Did the other board members get those?
I'm looking.
There's 7F and 7G. Resolution, local assignment options, second reading of BB 9322 meeting agenda materials.
My suggestion is if you didn't get it, we could remove those and put them on the next agenda. Or if everybody else got them.
I didn't receive it either, Laura Lee.
Okay.
Okay, so why don't we remove those from the agenda and place them on the next regular meeting agenda?
This is Tom. I'll amend my motion.
Okay. How about the second?
I'll second that.
Okay, so we're going to approve the agenda with items 7F and 7G removed from this agenda and placed on the next regular meeting agenda. Let's vote. Tom O'Gorman,
Aye.
Laura Lee George,
Aye.
Martha McLaughlin,
Aye.
Lois Risling, yes, motion carries. Okay, the next agenda item is swearing in of new board members. Do you do that?
That's me, I think. Okay, so I have the papers from the County Office of Elections. And so for each of the new trustees, I will swear you in separately. And so I'll do the whole repeat after me, please. So I'm going to start with Suzanne. Is she still not? Okay. And so I actually have to have you read back or what I'm saying, and then I'll sign that you actually took the oath. So are you, I know that you went off the camera, Sue. Is that okay? Can you?
Yeah,
Okay, you ready?
yes.
So this is your oath of office for that signed by Kelly Sanders, the Registrar of Voters for Humboldt County. So
Do you want me to be on camera? It doesn't matter to me.
no, I don't think so.
All
I
right.
just need to be able to hear you. And Trish, can you just give me the thumbs up if you can hear us both, okay? This will take a couple minutes. So I, Suzanne Marie Bursell,
I, Suzanne Marie Bursell,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
to the Constitution of the United States and to the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Okay, thank you. Can I keep going, Trish? Okay. Okay, I have Kadushka. Can you unmute yourself so that I can make sure we hear you? Okay. Oath of office. I, Kadushka J. Lara Colgrove,
I, Caduceus J. Lara Colgrove,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
oh, there you go. Okay. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
that I will support and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
discharge the duties on about which I am about to enter.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to sign that I've administered the oath. Deborah Myers, can you unmute yourself, please?
That.
Yep, there you go. I, Deborah Myers,
I, Deborah Myers,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
I solemnly swear that I will
sorry, I give you a big chunk, support and defend
support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the state of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
to the Constitution of the United States and to the Constitution of the state of California.
that I take this obligation freely
I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or personal evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Trustee McLaughlin, I'm looking on my screen. Oh, you're okay. Okay. Martha, will you unmute yourself, please?
You're still muted. I can see it here.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. I, Martha McLaughlin,
I, Martha McLaughlin,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, and that's everyone, right? Okay, so now we're going to elect your board officers. The new board needs to elect a president.
So we'll take nominations for a new president starting now.
This is Martha. Well, I nominate Laura Lee.
Do we have a second?
I second that.
Who was that?
I second that.
Oh,
Debbie.
Trustee Myers. Okay. So I have a motion to make Laura Lee George our board president. I have a second from Trustee Myers. I'm going to do a roll call vote. Trustee McLaughlin,
Aye.
Trustee Lara Colgrove, Trustee Lara Colgrove seems to be frozen right now. Trustee Myers
Yes, I do.
and Trustee George.
Aye.
Trustee Brindell
Aye.
going to mark trustee Lara Colgrove as absent from this vote. We do have a quorum. Congratulations, trustee. There
I'm
you
voting
are.
yes.
Yes, okay, you were frozen for a second. So we do have a new board president.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Laura.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
All right, Laura Lee, I'm going to turn it over to you to do the clerk and the county committee on school district organizations. I want to say it has been an honor to serve with you. And I know this new board will be more than able to deal with all the very complex issues that are coming and that will be coming in front of the board. So thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you, Lois.
Thank you, Lois.
Lois, I
Thank you, Lois.
want to thank you, Lois,
Hey, Lo-
also for heading this board during some very difficult times with the black mold and everything else that we have dealt with. And I'll be calling on you, so don't rest too easy. And I thank you, Lois. Okay, nominations are open for clerk of the board.
Nominate Carrie Waddy.
Is there a
Can we
second?
do that if she's not here?
Why not?
Okay.
She's held that position for a number of years, so. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Trish, can you do the roll call?
Yes. So I have a motion made by trustee McLaughlin for trustee Carrie Waddy to be our board clerk. I believe that was seconded by trustee Lara Colgrove. Was that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee McLaughlin,
Yes.
trustee Lara Colgrove,
Aye.
trustee George,
Yes.
trustee Myers,
E.
trustee Brissell,
Abstain. I don't really know what the person does or whether she wants to be that. So I'm going to abstain.
Okay, I have a 1, 2, 3, 4. I do have a quorum or a majority voting for trustee Carrie Waddy to be our clerk. So congratulations, Carrie Waddy. I'll call her or text her later on this evening.
Yes, the clerk is the second. We should have informed everyone of what they do. The clerk signs a lot of the board documents that for various things that we pass. They also keep track of what we do. They do sign the minutes of our board after they are approved. And in the absence of the chair, the clerk does conduct the meetings. So
Thank you.
the next position, and Carrie has been happy to do that in the past, and I haven't heard that she is not wanting to go forward with that. So, okay.
I'm thinking I'll be better informed after the training this weekend.
Yeah, well, ask questions too. That's no problem.
Yeah.
Next is the County Committee on School District Organization member. This person, I have been that for the last at least couple years, and I've never been called and have not had to do anything, but the county will call upon this person should there be business of that sort out in the county. So I don't know what all they do really, but we're required to have one. So nominations are open for the county representative on the County Committee on School District Organization member.
Kaduska.
Are there nominations? Did I hear Kadusha being nominated?
Yes, I nominated Kadushka.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved by trustee Myers and seconded by trustee McLaughlin for trustee Lara Colgrove to be our county committee on school district organization member.
Would you like me to do the vote?
Yes, please.
Calling for the vote, trustee McLaughlin,
Aye.
trustee George,
Aye.
trustee Myers,
E,
trustee Brissell,
Aye.
trustee Lara Colgrove,
oh,
Okay.
Tim-
was that a yes?
She's frozen
Yes.
again, I think.
Okay, there she is. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a majority. Congratulations, trustee Lara Colgrove.
Thank you.
Okay. After our organization meeting or training meeting this weekend with all our new trustees, we all will be better informed of what our duties are, what the role of board members are. And I think it's also important that our community know these roles also. So hope you all are signed up for the training. Okay, we'll move on. Public comment. During this portion of the meeting, members of the public may address the board on matters within the subject jurisdiction of the board. Time limits, generally 3 minutes per speaker and 20 minutes per subject, will be imposed by the board president. And Trish, I would like you to keep track of time for me when these arise.
Okay.
The board president may rule on the appropriateness of a topic. If the topic would be more suitably addressed at a later time, the president may indicate the time and place when it should be presented. The board shall not prohibit public criticism of its policies, procedures, programs, services, acts, or omissions as outlined in Government Code 54954.3. In addition, the board may not prohibit public criticism of district employees. Whenever a member of the public initiates specific complaints or charges against an employee, the board president shall inform the complainant that in order to protect the employee's right to adequate notice before a hearing of such complaints and charges, and also to preserve the ability of the board to legally consider the complaints or charges in any subsequent evaluation of the employee. It is the policy of the board to hear such complaints or charges in closed session unless otherwise requested by the employee pursuant to Government Code 54957. The board president shall also encourage the complainant to file a complaint using the appropriate district complaint procedure. Okay, to a public comment on agenda items. Members of the public may address the board on matters published on the agenda. Trish, do we have any comments?
I do have 2 public comments on agenda items. Give me just one moment and I will share my screen. I have a comment from Maggie Peters. It's on agenda item 3E. It reads, as a parent of district and behalf of stakeholders, I am requesting a detailed presentation of the use of all funding related to COVID and CARES money provided to the district. This was requested in previous board meetings. Thank you for building trust with transparency. I have one other comment from Maggie Peters on item 6D. Let me make this a little bit smaller. I am asking the following questions as a parent and landowner in the Klamath Trinity Joint Unified School District. The month of October had a large settlement listed in the amount of $1,120,262. $1,120,262 paid to PBK Architects, Inc. Please provide responses to the following questions for students, families, and landowners to understand how the district can pay this amount out of unrestricted funds. It is vital these questions are answered during this or the next meeting to ensure there's clarity on the use of public funding. Is the lawsuit settlement available for public review? How do we request a copy? Is this the only settlement payment made to PBK? What was the cause of the lawsuit, and why would an architect firm need to sue the district? Who is in charge of the oversight of the projects related to the lawsuit? Who is accountable for this tremendous loss to the budget? How is funding generated to pay for a settlement of that size? What and who will be impacted by the $1,120,262 loss in revenue? Please provide a list of all settlements in the last 10 years, the total expense per year by settlement, and what the associated legal fees for each settlement. Oh, and the associated legal fees for each settlement. What actions will be taken in the future to ensure the district is not sued? What were the district's missteps and skill gaps that resulted in being sued? What will the district be doing differently in the future to prevent this from happening again? In addition to these questions, I see that very little CARES and COVID funds were spent in October. In previous meetings, members of the community have requested details as to how these funds were allocated and what the funds were used to purchase. I believe there was over $900,000 given to our district. I'm asking the district to describe the use of this funding again. Thank you for your support in building trust through transparency with stakeholders.
Okay. Are there any comments on public comment on closed session items?
I did not receive any comments on closed session items.
Public comment and communication on non-agenda items to include Indian policies and procedures. Members of the public may address the board on matters not on the agenda if such matters are within the subject jurisdiction of the board. Did we receive any?
I did not receive any comments on non-agenda items.
Okay. Okay, we will go into district reports, employee group reports, Klamath Trinity Teachers Association, KTTA. Maggie?
Hello, welcome new trustee members. And I wanted to just give a huge shout out to our retiring trustees this evening. You have provided a tremendous amount of support for teachers the last couple of years. And we have a gratitude gift coming your way soon. And I hope that you enjoy some relaxation. Just a brief oral report this evening. I wanted to let you know that I have been exposed to many teachers and their lesson plans as they are welcoming in the holidays. It's been very hard for especially our primary folks to create those holiday experiences for their students like they normally would in their classrooms. And I've seen a lot of them crafting and getting their ornaments and different arts activities ready for their students. And it's been really, really, really heartwarming for me. I do want to just take a couple of moments to let you know that we still have concerns about unfilled positions in the district. We have an unfilled position at the high school. We have an unfilled position at Trinity Valley, and we have an unfilled position at Hoopa Elementary School. And we don't have a long-term sub for someone who is out at the high school. And when we have, for the Hoopa Elementary School, we currently have a teacher who is serving both 6th grade classrooms, which is a tremendous, way too much work for one person to be taking on, and any additional efforts to secure a position in that school would be vital to the students and vital to the teachers who are trying to pull together the resources to make that class successful. We are now meeting with the superintendent monthly as an individual group, and then also jointly with the other union group. And that has been a blessing. I appreciate building that relationship and that rapport with the superintendent, and having additional time outside of bargaining to work on issues that I know she has inherited, you know, some of them, and she is doing her best in this time of COVID and so many different things happening all at once. I do appreciate you, Ms. Glick, for making time for us. And I know that scheduling is difficult, but we're getting it done. So thank you guys and everything that you are offering and have offered in the last couple of years. And I look forward to building new relationships with our new trustees. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you.
California School Employees Association, CSEA Chapter 347. Is there a representative?
I do not see a representative on the meeting.
You said there's none here?
Correct,
Okay.
there is none here.
Okay, we will move to school site reports. Witchpeck Elementary School, and there was a written report in our packet. Dr. Kimball, is there any further reports on Witchpeck?
I have no other report to make. Are there any questions on the report that was submitted?
I was just curious what the enrollment is there.
Right now, the enrollment number is 10.
Okay. Thank
There
you.
are 4 first graders, 4 second graders, and 2 third graders at this time.
Two what, third?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, Dr. Kimball. Okay, Captain John High School, and there is a report in the packet. I don't see, is Erin Moya on?
She is not.
Okay. Hoopa High School, there is a report in the packet. I see Craig is on. Do you have anything additional to add?
No, I do not at this time. Do you have any questions for me?
Which position is vacant at your high school?
Primarily a Spanish teacher, but also this teacher, there's other duties to be assigned. Driver's education would be one type, like a health. It was kind of a teacher that did part of our online coursework, study hall type classes. So, but primarily a language teacher. Right now, we currently offer the 3 native languages, but we also had a teacher that was teaching Spanish, and that position's not filled.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Anyone else, any other trustee have a question of Craig? Okay, thank you. Trinity Valley Elementary School. There is a written report in the packet. Jacqueline, do you have anything to add? Is she still with you?
I am here. I just, well, I say no and then I add something. So yes, I do have something to add. I just wanted to comment that as a brand new green principal, board meetings can be really intimidating at first. And I'm grateful that the board that we've had has been really gracious and kind to us newbies. And so I just want to say, I appreciate you guys. And I thank you for the service that you've given to us. And we're going to miss you. I'm happy about our new board members too. Welcome. But we're going to miss our other board members as well. So thank you for your service. I do appreciate the support that I have felt, you know, up to this point. So thank you. Are there any questions about Trinity Valley right now.
Any board members have questions? Well, thank you,
Stop by
Jacqueline.
anytime. My doors are always open.
Okay. Jack Norton and Orleans Elementary School, there is a written report in the packet. And-
I can add that we just had the Carnegie Learning PD. I just came from that to here, and it was really good. We got a lot of great tools to use. It was 2 hours of a 6-hour PD, and I guess that's not my reporting on the schools, but it's another piece that I'm involved in as a middle school math collaborative group. I don't have much else to report. I want to echo what Jacqueline just said. I have felt supported being a newbie, and I'm grateful for that. Do you have questions regarding the report I submitted?
Trustees, do you have any reports or questions?
Laura Lee, can I make a point up here, go back to the Witchbeck report for just a minute before I forget about it?
Sure.
Okay, so one thing I wanted to say about that is right now, I know their enrollment's down, but we have a new housing complex project going in on the Tule Creek side of the river down there called Wema, and they're going to be having 5 brand new houses, 3 and 4 bedroom houses there, and also an apartment complex. So the numbers might look low for Jack Norton and Witchbeck, but you know, I hope that by fall of next year, well, this spring, the houses will be full of people, and that's going to bring in, you know, more students. So that's the thing I wanted to say about that.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, board members? Okay. Hoopa Valley Elementary School, there is a board report in the packet. Is Scotty's here. You have anything to add to that?
I don't have anything necessarily to add. I just wanted to extend my welcome to the new board members and wish everyone a very happy and safe holiday. I'm also grateful for the ability to do this in my living room. Thanks for providing us access via the technology. We're cooking dinner and listening away. So thanks so much.
It is a different world today, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
I did have a question. Said there was a vacant position at your school. Which position is that?
It's one of our 6th grade positions. Currently, Miss Cape is graciously and fantastically covering both 6th grade positions.
Oh, wow. Okay. And in your report, could you jog my memory, and for the new board members, it says you're bringing on a TOSA position that's funded under, jog our memories again.
I'm sorry, I missed part of your question, Trustee George.
Yes, in your report, you have, we are looking forward to seeing our curriculum adoption process completed and bringing on our TOSA position to get the wheels motion with this program. What funding are we using for that TOSA?
That was part of our differentiated assistance program that we're using. So half of that position would be funded by the county and the other half would be funded by the district.
Okay, and Superintendent Gleck, has that position been flown or approved by the board, or?
It's on pause because it's a school. So the school is looking at, Scotty, maybe you can just tell me if I don't know if it was through their differentiated assistance, it was the continuous support money. So it's their CSI school allocated money. So when Scotty says the district, it's really money that's allocated through the district for Hoopa L. So they're looking at developing that. And that's something that I know that they had conversations later, I guess in the spring last year. The position was approved and the vacancy was flown, but then, we can't, it's paused right now until their site plan gets up to the board and approved. So I think that's maybe it's a better set. It's like where they're hoping to head. So it was a good offer that, HCOE would pick up half of the cost, but
Okay.
yeah,
Are there any other,
it's not a go quite yet.
okay. Are there any other questions of Scotty from the other board members? Okay, let's move on. Indian, what was that? I didn't hear that.
That was Trustee Lara Colgrove.
I
She
have a
had
question.
issues, but go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I'd like to know what we're doing to actively get a 6th grade teacher on staff. I had an opportunity to listen to Miss Cape conduct her Zooms, and I think she's doing a very good job, but I think it's asking too much for a teacher to do that. Are we actively doing something to make sure that we fill that position?
That would be for me, not Scotty, because he's, so it's been advertised. We have a couple of places that it's been advertised and continuously advertised. And, for us, in terms of local areas, it's, the Humboldt County Office of Education website. And I will double check with personnel if it's being flown on EdJoin as well, because I actually can't tell you that, but that's where we want that position filled. I know that there were several times there were several people that were interviewed for it. I think that one of the, well, I can't speak to the reasons, but I know that there was something that looked like an offer, and part of the issue was distance. I think somebody was interviewed from out of the area, but it's kind of been a couple of near misses, but they've been misses, and ultimately it is not filled.
It is currently posted on EdJoin.
It's EdJoin as well? Okay.
It is, yeah.
Thank you.
I just wanted to comment on that. I think I saw a Spanish teacher, 6th grade. There's all of our positions are currently posted on EdJoin.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions from board members? Okay, we'll move on to Indian Education Director's Report. Do we have, there's Margot. Okay, hi.
I agree. So I would like to just give a brief overview of the Indian Education Program, seeing as we have our new board members on board. So the Indian Education Program has 3 funding sources: Title VI, which is funding for all students; AIECE, which targets Jack Norton and Trinity Valley students, and that's for grades K through 4; and Wild Rivers funding, which is district-wide for students in 6th through 12th grade. So the personnel for those school site reps, which is a fancy non-descriptive word for tutor at Hoopa Elementary School. That is 6 hours a day. One of those positions is vacant. And those school site reps target kindergarten and 1st grade. They provide one-on-one tutoring for half an hour a day with the same students every day for half a year. Right now, they're working with 1st graders, and then at midterm, they will start working with kindergartners, and then next year, they will work with those same kindergartners as 1st graders. The Title VI grant also funds 1 school site rep at Orleans Elementary School for 3 hours a day. Same thing, one-on-one reading, tutoring, focusing on the lowest performing readers that are not receiving other services. The AIECE program funds one site representative at Trinity Valley for 3 hours a day and one site rep at Jack Norton Elementary for 12 hours a week. The Jack Norton position is unfilled. The Wild Rivers Grant funds 2 school site reps. One is vacant. These school site reps work with students in 6th through 12th grade, and they are helping the junior high students get ready to transition into high school, and working with high school students, helping them to create a plan for post-secondary, whether that's college or trade school or going directly into some sort of job. It is helping students come up with a plan, doing interest inventories with them, those kinds of things. Since the COVID has struck, these positions have been using, well, this year, not last year, but this year, they're using Zoom to do the one-on tutoring with the primary grades. And it is a personal link embedded onto the kids' computers, so they don't have to go onto the general internet to go to their Zoom meeting. They just click an icon and go directly into their tutor's room. So those are the positions, as well as myself and support Billy Sanderson, who does student activities and support. So we have been working diligently to put culturally appropriate projects out to the students. It's very, very time consuming, but we have been able to reach all grades up through 5 and have plans to send out projects for the other grades as well. We have sent out beading projects, acorn project, culturally appropriate match games for the little kindergartners, and culturally appropriate sets of books. One of those being Unknown Soldier by Chag Lowry, and another one being the Hoopa Yurok Karuk Healthy Country Plan, which was produced in-house, co-authored by myself and men from the Nature Conservancy. In addition to those things, we have been supporting teachers in implementing the Indian land tenure curriculum, which has been developed for K through 12th grade. It's based on the history and culture of the local tribes and is aligned to Common Core standards. Are there any questions?
Debbie, you have a question?
No, I didn't know. It's just...
Oh, okay. I do. I have one question, Margot. I've been hearing a lot of positives of being online, of the lessons and stuff being developed, that we can use them over and over. And so that's something that's a positive and out of all of this. Also, I was wondering if you had a chance to check out the curriculum that was in the in storage at Witchpack. I know they cleaned out the, whatever you call it, those boxes, and said they found some. And I know I sent you an email. I was just curious if you have had a chance to go through and check that out.
Yes, I did. And they had, I think 2 of the 4 curriculum binders, or I guess it's 2 out of the 3. There was three seasons of binders. And so I let when I was there, the teacher wasn't there, but I let the custodian know that these are the binders that they're looking for. And I set them on the teacher's desk, the 3rd binder in our Indian Ed library. And so we sent that down to her. So that curriculum is there and available. So, yes.
I was just wondering, because those are the only copies in captivity. I was just thinking that the work that went into it and some of the quality, especially some of the science ones, that I was hoping your program could make copies, and at least so if a binder disappears, we don't lose the content. So.
Yes, we have at least one additional copy of those curriculum binders. So should something happen to the set at the site, we do have at least one other copy.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Margot from trustees? Okay, we'll move on to Assistant Superintendent Report, Student Services. There is a written report in our packets. And Dr. Kimball, do you have anything additional to add?
I do not at this time. Do you have any questions for me?
I had one. There's 2 behavioral assistants are working regularly with general ed and SPED teachers and administrators. What positions are those?
They're behavioral assistants, and they're both district positions. One of them works primarily at the high school and services other areas, and the other one works primarily at Hoopa L and services other sites.
Okay. I also was looking at the report that you attached that Maggie had given. And on page 44, I was wishing, I couldn't read the small print. So I would appreciate being able to read what that was. It looked like good information, non-preferred behaviors, root cause of analysis, non-preferred behaviors. And I stretched my eyes as far as I could, and I could not read it. So
we can get that to you on a full size page.
Well, I would just think cut down on some of the pictures, the writing would be bigger, but you cut out all the kids. So
okay,
okay,
we can email that to you guys so that it's in a bigger.
Okay, thank you.
There are good things in there. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, any other trustee have a question for Dr. Kimball? Okay, well, thank you, Craig. Assistant Superintendent Report, Business and Personnel.
Good evening and welcome new board members, and thank you to the outgoing board members. I appreciate all the support you've been providing me, and as well as the current board members. I really appreciate that, and look forward to working with each and every one of you. My report is going to be the basics of local school district budgets, and I'm going to try to keep them to about 3 minutes. So I'm going to kind of quickly go through it. And so let me begin. What exactly is a school district budget, and on what is it based? The budget is a guiding financial plan for meeting the local school district's governing board's goals and objectives for the year. It represents how much a local district estimates it will receive in income, revenue, and the maximum expenditures authorized by the board, and the balance, negative or positive, when the year is done. Because education funding levels are essentially up for debate every year as part of the annual state budget process, school districts rely on projections, but actually do not know for certain the amount of funding to be received until the state budget is approved by the end of June. Therefore, it is understood that local district budgets change and need to be revised. The budget should represent the policy.
Did we lose her?
We lost her.
It looks like we lost her.
Oh, here
There
she's
she
back.
is. Are you there,
You're
Carmen?
back.
Sorry about that.
There you are.
I am.
Okay.
So continuing on, I just got dropped. I'm sorry. So it should represent the policy and conceptual priorities of the organization and must inform resource allocation related to the implementation of the local control and accountability plan, the LCAP. The budget should be balanced, and if there is deficit spending, it must be explained and a plan developed to return the budget to a balanced state. What are the main expenditures in school district budgets? Teacher and staff salaries, which provide instruction and instructional support to students, health and welfare, and statutory benefits. They make up about 80% of the expenses in most districts. And so what factors impact a local budget? What are the main challenges for school districts in balancing budgets and maximizing the amounts available for student support and services? Well, every school district is unique. Various state and local factors can be major challenges to local district budgeting, such as enrollment uncertainties, the number of students living in poverty, English learners, and foster and homeless youth, the state's volatile tax structure, collective bargaining cost, increased share of state pension costs that districts and employers are required to pay, rising costs to serve students with disabilities, health and welfare benefits for employees, rising minimum wage cost, utility costs, staffing formulas, which may include the step-in column, which defines compensation based on years of services, continuing education credits, and as negotiated by districts and their labor unions. Overall levels of state funding and federal funding as well for the uncertainties from year to year, and other unavoidable costs that may come up, within the year. Who oversees local school district budgets? Who oversees our budgets is our elected local governing boards. They approve the school district budgets, and it's a state law known as AB 1200. And it sets additional financial standards for school districts and includes mechanisms to ensure adequate oversight. County offices of education are required to review and approve the annual budgets of each local school district, and districts must certify if they are able to meet their financial obligations for the current plus 2 additional years. County offices of education validate those self-certifications. And so continuing on, what are the 3 major certifications of a district budget? You have a positive, which the district will complete the year with a positive fund and cash balance. The district is solvent and can meet all of its obligations. A qualified, district may not complete the year with a positive fund or cash balance. Financial indicators require scrutiny and modest intervention. A negative is the district will not complete the year with a positive fund or cash balance. Aggressive corrective action is required. So based on the budget and LCAP calendars, beginning now, we develop our expenditure projections, which we will be talking about the first interim this evening. We'll reflect on current LCAP goals and progress. In January, the governor releases his state budget proposal, and the districts begin seeking input to the local LCAP to be presented to the preliminary to the board. In February, the governing board establishes its priorities. We'll have the discussions brought to the board. March and April, again, input on the LCAP by stakeholders and required committees. May or June, the revise of the revenue projections are based on the governor's May revised budget, and budget and LCAPs will be made available to the public. In late May, early June, you also have to have a concurrent public hearing on the LCAP and budget. On or before July 1st, you must adopt the LCAP and budget. In September and October, you review and get notification by the county superintendent in regards to your unaudited actuals. So that is basics in a nutshell, and that is my report. So I'm hoping, like I said, to be able to work with you guys and moving forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Carmi. And we do have a couple of other items on the agenda where you'll be back with the first interim and the LCAP parent budget for the LCAP. Any questions at the moment from trustees for Carmi? Hearing none, let's move on. Superintendent's report.
Hey, thank you. Good evening. I have 4 things to talk about. One, of course, our daily conversations are revolving around health and safety concerns, which then, of course, dictate school operations. I will provide resources to the trustees in case you have not had an opportunity to look at there's a lot of places to look and see what is the status of our district and our county in terms of COVID cases and the designation in the pandemic. But so currently, in Humboldt County, we're in this purple widespread tier, and a school district that's in a county that's in a purple or widespread tier, which is I think every county except for 3 in the state, can remain open for in-person instruction if they were already delivering in-person instruction, but we cannot move into in-person instruction if we were not already providing that. It does not necessarily require that a school close its campus to students. But it is a decision that is a decision that lots of districts are making, to be on the side of safety. So it's been, every day we're talking about this. So we, in the last 3 weeks, started meeting with our health and safety team, which is the district nurse, the director of the maintenance transportation department, and our safety officer and myself. We meet every day at 7:30 in the morning because the data comes out from the county and from the tribe in terms of new cases, usually in the evening. So that way we can look first thing in the morning and see if there's any urgent or real quick decisions that we have to make. So at last month's meeting, the board approved looking at opening for the second semester, which starts January 25th, and looking at doing in-person learning if health and safety conditions allow. So when we looked at the calendaring and looking backwards, working backwards from that, there is no possible way that health and safety conditions will allow for us to do an opening for in-person instruction. And it's because of the state's requirements that we have a certain number of weeks where we maintain a level below what we have right now with new positive cases and the level of the percentage of positivity. So when we just did the math, we went, oh, that's not actually possible. So we're looking at continuing this HEX. We're on the 6-week HEX cycle, continuing distance learning. The first opportunity we would have to have students back on campus, and again, it will be dictated by local guidance, county guidance, and state guidance, is if we could have individual student appointments in January. And what the county public health has recommended is for 2 weeks after a break, distance learning only, because we're finding that over breaks, people mix households, and then that's why, that's one of the probably the contributing factor to where the numbers are in terms of putting us into the purple tier. So we have a revised calendar. We're going to share it with administration, and we are meeting with KTTA tomorrow we'll give an update of what we think the instructional calendar will look like. But again, that's just what we know based on today. So while we have been very conservative with our student presence on campus and really being cautious, I just wanted to give you a legislative update, and that ties directly into school operations. But I just wanted to ask if anybody has any specific questions about the health and safety and school operations timeline. And I can send you print materials on it as well. I usually am include the trustees and updates, but this was just finished this morning with the health and safety team.
Jen, there were new numbers out from Hoopa OES today. And so I was just wondering if you've gotten those updates.
I have gotten them indirectly. I was invited to go. I've gone to the tribal, to the council meetings, but I had a conflict today. So the district nurse went, and she gave me a couple of informal updates, and then we'll meet again tomorrow. But I think that we're going to be, just by all measures, things are going to be more and more restrictive. And then, of course, coming back after winter break, our big concern is, we can't just have kids rolling onto campus, because we know that we would be pleasantly surprised. It would be a good problem to have that, oh, we don't have as much COVID, we can bring kids back to campus. But, we really have to maintain the levels being low for, it would basically be at least 4 weeks consistently of levels that are below. I think for us, the rate is like 2 new cases per day or something, 2 cases per 100,000 people, to kind of bump back into another tier. I think we're at 16 or something. So I don't have, I usually I'm posting those updates as well, but I'm kind of waiting for the official word. So, and then along with that, I just wanted to give a legislative update. So on Monday, the legislature convened, and there are definitely some people in the assembly that are really anxious to get kids back onto the school campuses. So anything that you hear locally about the struggles that students and families and teachers and maintenance workers and superintendents are having, that is widespread across the entire state. I have not entered into any county or state conversations where this is not, what everyone is talking about, the learning loss and the concerns that we have for kids not being on campus. So there is an assembly bill that was introduced, which would put some pretty strict guidelines onto school districts as soon as we would move out of this restrictive tier of being widespread, would require that within 2 weeks we return to, we offer in-person learning. Up until now, the legislature has been very flexible and saying, their distance learning, obviously something that schools will continue to offer, but what they're going to say is it can't be the only offer. So we're kind of waiting with bated breath to see what happens with that. So that it's been introduced as an urgent bill. It may go nowhere, but there are some pretty heavy hitters in the assembly that are backing it, including Patrick O'Donnell, who's, introduces a lot of educational legislation. So I will keep you updated on that, and I will find out more tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I am on a call with Senator Mike McGuire, and I thought myself and other superintendents from the county, and I thought we'd be asking about other things, but I bet that bill will be the thing that dominates. I mean, he's set in the Senate, but he's going to know what's going on with the assembly bills. It's a little concerning because of it basically would not allow us to make decisions based on what we need. We would have to be under the orders of a local public health officer saying the school campus is closed. So another up in the air situation. And I keep pretty up on the, the legislative things that are happening in Sacramento, because they definitely impact us greatly. Any questions on that? And then I have one other thing I just wanted to share with you all. I also wanted to tell you, I think it was in October, Rain Marshall gave public comment at the meeting. I've attended a roundtable that was a lot of people from our district and districts all over the county, that was hosted by the ACLU and NCIDC, and then Rain and I are going to meet on Friday just to check in. We don't have a particular agenda, but she's been reaching out to schools, so we have that meeting set up. And then I did want to see, Trish, can you allow me to share my screen?
You're good to go.
Okay, thank you. So my last piece in my report goes hand in hand with what Carmi was talking about. And it is something that I guess Lois is off of the call. I just wanted to take about 2 minutes to go and introduce you to the LCAP. You may know something about it from being a family member of a student, from being a community member. It's something that school districts in California are required to develop this local control and accountability plan. And as Carmi was talking about, this is really the budget process and the LCAP adoption process go hand in hand. And they are basically, our budget is developed by what is happening with our decisions through the local control. So this is from the state, California Department of Education. It is the tool for local educational agencies to set goals, plan actions, and then leverage resources. And that's when we start talking about the budget. So we figure out what goals we want for our students and how we're going to do that, and then how we're going to allocate money there. So I felt like it was important to let you know that there are all of these terms that come up over and over again, and often they're not defined. And I'm just going to show you what each of them mean. And throughout the process, we can go over what each thing means. So an LEA, you'll hear California Department of Education refer to the LEA. That is the school district. And I think that they've changed that from school district to LEA because it includes charter schools. So any of you who have worked in education, especially special education, know that we are crazy for acronyms. We just throw them out around and sometimes we don't pause to see if everybody knows what we're talking about. But, you know, when Jerry Brown was in his second term as, or the second round of being governor, he introduced this whole local control funding formula. So basically, you can see the word local appears a lot, which means that we have more decision-making power rather than getting a category of money that has to be spent on something very specific. We have more local control. It sure is a lot of work. It takes a lot of meetings, and I'm going to go into that in just a moment. If you guys are not on my screen, you're over there. So if you need me to stop, I need you to speak up and interrupt because I can't see you right now. So the reason I'm talking about this now is because 'tis the season, the process is starting. So what we do is we start with the groups of what we call stakeholders. And that's the term that the state uses to identify anybody who has an interest in whatever is happening in the school district. So we get input from students, from families, from staff, and from community through surveys and meetings. Now, meetings, of course, are taking a whole other dimension because we are not, and you know, what I used to do at my previous district is we'd throw a dinner and people would show up and we would talk about what kinds of goals we wanted to set for the district. So this year it's going to be tricky. We'll have to be creative. So through that process, we figure out what is valuable to the community members and the stakeholders. And then this is where the board comes in, because the board sets the priorities. So that's why I want you to be really in on this early. We'll gather data and present it to the board, and the board sets the priorities. And then we set goals. And then there's a very specific template that we use to develop the LCAP, and it includes the goals that we have. And then we figure out what we're going to do to meet those goals. And then all of that is supported by money. And that is why the budget process and the LCAP development process are so closely linked. And as Carmi was talking about with the budget, we have to develop all of this with the actions and the services and how we're going to pay for things, or what, you know, how much money we're going to spend on different services before we have a finalized budget from the state. So we're doing the work with what we think we are going to be allocated based on the governor's January budget, which changes and he does, it may revise. So the people that are involved, we have our LCAP planning team is kind of the core group that is facilitating the meetings. Myself, the assistants, I have assistant superintendents because it involves student services and budgeting. And then, so there's a team of 5 that we've met several times to start developing the plan. We're required to get the input of advisory groups. It's a very good idea to get input from people ahead of time. So I'm having our first parent advisory committee meeting tomorrow. And then stakeholder groups just refers to people that we're collecting input from and that we are presenting the, you know, here's what we're going to recommend, and ask people what they think. So it's pretty much everyone who has anything to do with the school. And then, of course, the governing board, because the governing board will be involved with developing priorities, and the governing board ultimately approves the LCAP and the budget that goes along with it. So I just wanted to give you a quick, here's what the current goals are. So the current LCAP, we kind of skipped this year. Really what would have happened is last year we would have started a new 3-year cycle but because the schools were closed down, the State Board of Education has postponed this. So we're looking at goals that were set several years ago at the beginning of the last 3-year cycle. So the first goal, all students will receive high quality instruction aligned to Common Core standards, which will engage them as 21st century learners and prepare them for college and careers. Goal 2, all students will have the opportunity to learn in a culturally responsive, socially, emotionally, and physically safe environment. Goal 3, all schools will provide a safe and welcoming learning environment for students and families. Goal 4, all students will have access to a variety of engaging offerings, including but not limited to drama, music, science, physical education, cultural activities, etc. So this is the year where we update the goals. So here's the timeline. So we've already started. The LCAP planning team has met. We're starting to look at how we're going to facilitate the meetings and develop the timeline. Then in January, the really important things that will happen in addition to us sending out the first survey, which we developed as an LCAP planning team, that's when the State Board of Education will actually release the template. We're expecting it's going to be pretty similar to what it has had in the past years. We're hoping for not major changes, if any changes, that it's simplified. So for those of you who have read through LCAPs, they are anywhere from, depending on the size of the district, it could be 60 pages. I think ours is 128, but I could check. It's pretty long. The governor's budget will come out, and that's how we start to develop our budget. And then we start having our stakeholder meetings. And this really goes along with the business timeline that Harmy was talking about, setting priorities, looking at how we're going to allocate resources, and then developing the components of the LCAP, which are the goals, the metrics, which is how are we going to meet those goals, and then coming up with our actions. In May, we should have a draft and be able to present that for revisions. And then in June, that is when the LCAP, along with the budget, is adopted. So I would be happy to send this out to you. I do leave the LCAP as a standing item because it's really important that we have continuous discussion about developing the school plan. So any questions, you can ask me now, you can ask me, you can email me, ask me later. It's kind of a long process, but I wanted to front load you on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Any trustees have any questions of the superintendent? I have I have a question, Jen. What is the quick update on the Voc Ed building?
On the iTech building?
iTech building.
Oh, yeah, yes. I have okay, so we are, in addition to a lot of things that we're doing, we're trying to get moving with the iTech building, which is proposed to have a wood shop, a welding component, and an auto shop. And I have in my calendar, Laura Lee, send the update, but that I haven't sent it yet because I have a meeting on Thursday with the Office of Public School Construction. And a lot of the issues with construction are not about construction, they're about money. And the way that the funding happens from the state. So we've been meeting to put out and looking, we're really close to releasing the request for proposals from architect. And then we would, have that we have a school facility, we have a facilities committee. So for those of you that, yeah, I guess this is the first, we haven't brought it up with this new board. And we were meeting every other week, but then we just got to a place where we had to pause until we have some more updates. So I would say that by January's board meeting, we'll have actually quite a bit. And that'll be Barbara from Office of Public School Construction has to say. So yeah, thanks for reminding me of that.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question, Jen. How about for the Orleans Portable? Is there any update on that?
I haven't received any updates on that. I know that you all approved getting the architect just to give us just the plans. And so I don't have any, I don't think that those have come back to us. I don't have any updates on that, but I will find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll move into trustee area reports. Any trust, let's see, Sue, do you have any reports, or Kadusha, Deborah, Martha, Rob? Rob has joined us, I see.
Okay, I do, mine's not necessarily a report. I just, when I visit the school from time to time, having to do things, and I just want to give kudos to our staffs at the schools. You know, I know they are so busy. They're still running up and down the halls, even with no students there. And I just would like our staff people, our teachers, you know, and aides and cooks and bus drivers who may not be driving buses, but they're running around doing stuff. I just wanted to say that I really appreciate the job they're doing and how much they not only are helping the students now, but helping out the parents and the caregivers of the students who are struggling in this time. So I just want to say it doesn't go unnoticed. People notice what a great job you're doing. Thanks.
Any other trustees have any comments or reports?
Well, I like that, what Martha said. I have the same, comments for our Jack Norton School. I've been down there a couple of times. Also, I had a couple of comments that people have asked me about that live on the road that goes up to the school. I'm not sure what that status of that road is now. I've heard some different things to where saying that the road is, at one time it had belonged to the school district and something about the school district had ceded it back to the tribe or something. I'm not sure, but that road, it definitely needs to be fixed. It's like there's almost all the time, there's almost accidents on it. And I know the state really looks at how many accidents have been on a road whenever they consider putting money in there and fixing it. And there's been accidents, but almost, I could say probably not every day, but a lot of times there's almost accidents on that road with the school bus and people trying to get up and down that road. And it's just so bad shape. So I would like to say that if this tribe, if the Yurok tribe, is responsible for it now, that see if we could somehow work with them on it and get letters out to them and see, if they have plans to fix that or just what the status of that road is. And that's one thing that, everybody always asks me that, what about that road? What about that road? Whenever I was talking about running for school board. And I'm like, I think, the road, like, I don't know what its status, but like I said, I've heard different comments about it. And I just don't know if that's true or not, if the school district did, give that back to the Yurok tribe. I don't know.
Jen, could you double check on that? Thank you. Any other trustee comments or reports? I'm not hearing any. Again, I would like to thank our outgoing trustees, Tom O'Gorman and Lois. I think those are the only two, right? I'm kind of looking at my screen here. And thank
Darlene.
Maggie.
Darlene too.
Darlene.
Has the administration done any cards or anything of thanks for us? So maybe Jen, maybe you could.
Yep, I'm taking notes. Thank you.
It's
have
hard.
cards, not
It's hard to keep up and
hard to get people to sign things.
yeah, and I've anyway, we will move on to we'll adjourn to closed session. So, and any idea how long it will take, Jen?
I don't expect more than an hour. I would think actually